right, welcome to the Christian Family Center's virtual exercise classes. We're glad to have you with us today. A couple reminders before we get started. First and foremost, please check with your healthcare provider if you haven't already before beginning an exercise program. If you feel any dizziness, chest pain, or other discomfort while you're exercising, please stop immediately. By continuing, you're assuming all risks associated with this activity. Have a wonderful workout and a blessed day.
Hi, my name is Stephanie. Today I'm going to lead you through a short form modified ashtanga practice. This class will have no vinyasas, therefore no push-ups, so this is an all levels beginner's class. Let's begin by taking our knees wide on our mat, sinking our hips down and back. If you have child's pose in your practice, I welcome you to come into it by lowering your hands, lowering your chest, and coming down. If this pose is completely foreign to you, sink the hips down and merely place the hands on the mat, allowing yourself to lengthen the spine, releasing the shoulders from the ears, and coming down to your forearms. Still sinking the hips down and back. You're going to try and bring your head down to the mat. Perhaps your chest can touch. Arms can come out in front of you or reaching down behind you. Taking a moment here to connect to your body. Saying a gentle prayer to guide you through this practice. And knowing what you're doing is great for yourself. Spending a few moments on the corners of your mat and coming in. Let's inhale, come up. And we're going to come up to all fours, bringing the knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Let's tuck those toes under and sink the hips down and back, just releasing some of the tension in our feet, in our toes, and our arches. Breathing into it. Coming into neutral. Feet can stay tucked under or feet can come relaxed, stretching out the tops of your ankles. Let's inhale, drop our belly, shine our heart through the gateway of our shoulders, lift that chin, and exhale, round your back, drop your head, scoop that lower belly in. Scaredy cat. Inhale, drop the belly, arch and lift. Exhale, round. One more time. Inhale, drop for cow belly. And let's exhale into our scaredy cat. Coming into a neutral tabletop. We're going to come into down dog next. Down dog is typically thought of as a calf opener or a hamstring opener. I want you to think of it as a back lengthener. So let's tuck our toes, lift our hips, bend our knees, and push back. As you can see, my heels are nowhere close to be touching as I'm dropping my head down. And then I'm going to pedal out my feet. Still lengthening my spine, sending my hips up to the sky. Coming up on my toes, bending my knees, stepping together into a forward fold. Feel free to bend your knees as much as you need to reach those fingertips down to your mat. Bend the knees, wave the arms, and come up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. I'm going to lead you through some sun salutations. Again, there'll be no vinyasas, and we're going to cut out the planks completely. Feet are going to come facing the top of your mat. They can be close together, or they can be up to hips distance apart. It's your choice. Let's inhale, sweep arms up. Lengthen, exhale, open up, forward fold, swan dive. Inhale, peek up just halfway. Make sure your hands are never on your knees. We want no pressure on the knees. So the hands come up to the thighs, soft bend if your hamstrings are not happy, or the hands come down to the shins. Bend the knees, forward fold, just a little bit more. Inhale, sweep up. Lift here, Exhale, hands to heart center. And let's do that a few more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open, forward fold. Swan dive down. Inhale, peek up, halfway. Exhale, bend down. Arms out as we inhale up. One more time. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. And inhale, lift all the way up, hands to heart center. Keeping your feet fist distance or closer, we're going to come into an axial extension of the spine, traditionally thought of as chair pose. Not looking for depth today, not looking for a quad burn or a glute burn. So we're going to bring our feet, bend our knees, sink our hips down and back, engage our lower core, lift our heart, arms come up. Hold. This is chair pose. It's also called fierce pose. Lengthen through the arms. Try not to let the shoulders creep up. Bring the shoulders down. It's okay if you're out here. You can absolutely be at the length and distance that works for your body. Let's inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring our hands through a prayer posture and forward fold. Inhale, peek up that halfway. Exhale, bend the knees. Plant the hands. Step that left foot back to a 45-degree angle. Inhale, come up. Lift and lengthen through here. The spine lengthens. The pinky edge of the back toe gets the weight. The big toe gets the weight. The knee stacks over the ankle. Inhale, come up, warrior one. And let's forward fold. Step our feet together. Realign by inhaling flat back. Exhale, bend down and step the right foot back 45 degrees. Inhale, come up. Check out these hips. If you need to broaden the stance of your back leg so your hips are not rotating, I can show you from a front direction. If you're close and your hips open up here, this is not where we want to be. We want these hips square to the front. Lengthen. Activate the arms. Engage the core. Lift. Step together. Forward fold. Inhale to that flat back. Bend the knees. Sink the hips. Inhale, come up with bent knees. Chair pose. Inhale, lengthen. Hands to heart center. Let's step our feet out to hips distance. We're going to bend our knees as we forward fold. We want to bend our knees enough so that our hands can grab onto our toes. So let's go ahead and begin. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Bend, bend, bend. Peace fingers. Grab your big toes. Use your upper body. Pull down. Option to stay there or to slide the hands underneath the feet, bringing the toes into the wrist creases. Let's release and slowly roll up. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see a little better. Still facing the front. You're going to step this right foot forward, left foot back. Hips stay square, heart is lifted. Hands come behind. Stretch open the heart, take a baby back bend. Reach forward with the heart, straight legs if you can. If you can't, simple bend in that front leg. Reach forward. Feel the stretch in the backs of your legs. If you're feeling unsteady, this back leg can absolutely come to an 11 or a 10 o'clock stance. Just allow your hips to square. Pyramid pose. Lengthen the spine, lengthen the legs, come on down. Breathe. Find more depth. rotate the feet, and rotate the feet to the back of the mat. Left foot is forward. This right foot can be facing forward, or it can be at a 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock stance. We're going to switch whatever hand was dominant that we had before. Lengthen the arms down the back, lift the heart, and come forward. Pyramid pose with the left leg dominant. Exhale as you compress more. Inhale as you lengthen away from the back hip. Inhale, come up. Rotate the legs to the front and release the arms. Right leg is going to face the front of your mat. Left leg is going to face the long edge of your mat. Coming into triangle pose. If you have a triangle pose, you may choose to have a narrow stance. You may choose to have a broader stance. I'm going to come in between here. Inhale, arms up. Release the shoulders. Triangle pose is never about touching the ground. Always about lengthening through your chest and opening up the front arm. So let's reach forward with this right arm, drop it down, lift this left arm up, and gaze up towards the thumb. Perhaps you can slide down more. Let's inhale up. Arms stay up, palms face forward. Both feet to the long edge. Left foot to the back short edge. Reach forward, send those right hips down back. And rotate the arms. Gaze comes up. Triangle pose. Utthita Trikonasana. Inhale, come up. Both feet rotate towards the long edge. Arms are open. Let's take a little back bend here. And let's hinge the hips. Come on down. Forward fold. Opening up the hamstrings. If you need more room, feel free to heel toe the feet out more. And coming down. You can reach for your toes. You can reach for your ankles. You can plant your hands on the mat. You can walk your hands backwards behind your heels. Let's bend the knees. Slowly roll up. With this wider stance, we're going to keep the left foot towards the long edge, right foot towards the short edge. Naturally, you're going to lunge. Lunge that right knee over the right ankle. Inhale up, reach forward, perhaps bringing that right arm onto that right quad as you inhale the left arm up, extended side angle. If this posture is not enough for you, feel free to drop down, connecting your elbow and knee together. Gaze goes up towards the sky. Let's inhale up. Rotate both feet towards the long edge. Rotate left foot towards the short edge. Lunge in. Left knee stacks over left ankle. Reach forward, allow that left arm to come under the quad. Inhale, right arm up. Drop this left arm down if you need more of a challenge. Opening up the heart. Reaching through your side body. And inhale, come up. And straighten the legs. Softly bend the knees. Step together. Coming back into some more traditional warrior postures. We did them with the flow, and we're going to add on a warrior too. Turning to an angle, you feel free to face your mat, bend the knees, sink the hips. We were here before. Engage this core. We don't want an arch in that lower back. Chest lifted, arms extended. Chair pose. Catch your breath here if you've gotten a little winded. Feel free to sink it down a little bit more, making sure the knees do not extend beyond the toes, making sure you can pick up your toes at all times and the weight is in the ball of the foot and the heel. Lift and sink simultaneously. Inhale, lift. Let's step this right foot forward, this left foot back. Checking in where we were before when we did that flow. Left foot is at a 45 degree. We are not lifted up on the ball of the foot. That is a completely separate posture. We have that heel brought down as close to the ground as we can as we lunge into this right leg. Arms are lifted. Warrior one. Lengthen through your front body. Push down through that back leg. Open up this hip flexor here. Lean into it. Inhale, lift, straighten the leg. We're going to rotate towards the side, rotate this left leg towards the side, and bring down our arms. Still lunging this right leg in. Check and make sure the right knee is tracking with the middle toe. We never want this right knee to come in towards the big toe. Gazing out towards the front side arm. Warrior two. Releasing shoulders. Inhale, sweep up. Rotate, feet towards the long edge. Rotate this left foot towards the short edge. We're going to pick up that right foot and bring it down to a 45, coming into our warrior one on our left side. This side may be very different. For you, again, let's review. You may not be able to have such a narrow stance. Your hips may be rotating. So feel free to take up the width of your mat, or even more, to make sure that your hips are square, your ankle is comfortable. Not putting pressure on the ankle or the knee. Standing tall, nice broad stance is better if you have the hips square compared to stepping together and having the hips open to the side. Coming into our warrior one, sinking down. Breathing through here, lengthening, slight back bend. Arms lifted. Inhale, lift. Exhale as we open, simultaneously rotating this right foot to the long edge of the mat, lunging into this left foot, knee over ankle. Lift the heart, lift your hip and your thigh off of each other. We're not collapsing through. There should be a nice lift in between there. Gaze going over your front left arm. And let's lengthen. Lift up here. Check in with our feet, bringing them more in line, and we'll take another forward fold here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Slowly roll up. Step the feet together. Working on our balance will be our next few series. If you know your balance is questionable, by all means, grab a chair. Put us on pause. Come back. Let's go ahead and begin. We're going to bring our right foot down to the mat, and we're going to bring our left foot to cross over. Perhaps this is as high as you can go. We're not doing tree. We're not hooking the foot on the inner thigh. We're crossing it over. Perhaps you can go even farther, bringing up the foot into the hip crease. You can stay here, wrapping this left arm behind your back. Maybe you can fold forward. Let's just reach an arm down, see where we stand. Take a moment or two, breathe into it. You don't have to have a straight right leg. Let's inhale, come up, try the other side. Left foot gets the weight, right foot crosses over. Again, we're bringing that ankle over the thigh, or we're bringing that foot up into the hip crease, being mindful of the knee and of the ankle as it's straightening out. Right hand comes behind as you forward fold. Again, feel free to reach down. Take your time, see where you can go. See if you can push yourself to a depth you've never had before. Inhale, come up. Shake it out. Let's take a nice counter pose for those ankles, and we're going to just stretch out the tops of the foot. Curl up the toes and bring the feet up. Let's switch legs. Stretching out the tops, coming into the sole, curling up the toes. Next series is the standing letter series, traditionally called standing letter A, B, C, and D. We're going to review 3. We're going to do them modified. Coming into our right foot. We're going to inhale, bring that left foot in. Perhaps we can grab the shin, holding on to it. If today you feel like you have more in you, go ahead and grab the sole of your foot. Bringing it in. Let's release our grip. Right hand goes onto the hip. Left hand grabs the left leg. As we open up the left leg, maintaining your balance. A little bit more challenge. Look over your right shoulder. Come back, release, kick out the left leg, arm comes up, as you slowly lower down. And take the weight off the right leg. Do some ankle circles here. Let's take it over to the left leg. Left leg gets the balance. All the weight goes on there. If you're finding that standing on one leg, keeping your foot straight is too much and you're still too wobbly, but you're not quite ready for a chair, by all means, switch that foot over to the side. It's going to give you more room compared to just this much ground covering to give you this much as your foot opens up. Inhale, right leg in. Grabbing the shins, pulling it in. Left hand on the hip. Right leg opens up. Releasing your shoulders, opening up your heart. If you're feeling for the challenge, gaze goes over left shoulder. And release. Come back through center. Try not to touch down if you can. Lifting those arms up and overhead. Kicking that right leg out. Slowly lowering down. Standing letter series. And let's release. We're going to take our feet out to the sides here, and we're going to slowly roll down, coming into a nice squat. If your feet are flat or your feet are lifted, it's really up to you. We're going to come to a seated series now. Extending the legs out and straight in front of you. Feet are going to be reaching up towards the sky, pushing through the heels. Hands are down by your side. My arms are a little short, so I'm going to stay up at my fingertips. By all means, if you can reach down with the heels of your hands, please take it. Push into the ground, lift the heart, flex the feet, and breathe. Everything is active here. Dandasana, 4-limbed staff pose. Active, active, active. And release. Keeping your feet as is. We're going to reach up and reach for our feet. Perhaps you can grab your toes, all your toes, your arches, your ankles, your shins. Yogi's choice. right leg in. Wiggle out any fleshy bits that may be in the way, rotating heart towards your foot and reaching forward. Coming down. With each exhale, compress just a little bit more if you have that available for you. Slowly release. Switch legs. Right leg out, left leg in. Reach down. Forehead will be reaching for your knee as the heart reaches for the toes at the same time. Inhale, lift up. Straighten out the feet. Quad stretch will be next before we go back for some more hamstring. Be advised, quads can be a little tough to get, so we're going to take it really slow since this is a beginners all levels class and just do one at a time. We're going to take our left leg, swing it behind us. Walk through some modifications. Maybe your knee is separated from the straight leg, and this is where you are. This left foot can be flexed and you're on the inside of the ankle. This left foot can be pointed and you're on the top of the leg. If you're feeling any pinching in your hip flexor, feel free to lean back and take the pressure off of that area. When you feel comfortable with this span, we're going to go ahead and bring the knees closer together. Check in. How does this feel? Are you okay with your knee? If the knee is not okay, check your foot. Perhaps you need to flex it and return that leg back more into a position of function. Let's go ahead and walk our hands back. Just see where we are. Opening up this quad, opening up this hip flexor, maybe getting deep into the abdominal muscles as well with your psoas. Breathing in. Welcoming the discomfort. Not allowing the pain. Let's inhale up. We're going to lean to the side, opposite of the leg we have back, and release that leg. It's going to give you a little bit more real estate and room to open up. Let's shake it out, lean into the side, and bring that other leg back. Check in where you are. Remember, you can have a nice broad opening between your knees. This right foot can be flexed, pointed, or anywhere in between. Let's go ahead and bring them a little closer together. Check in with the quad, check in with the hip flexor. Same rules apply as they did on the left side. Let's go ahead and lean back. Open up the heart. Breathing in to what we're feeling, connecting to our body. Know that we are perfect how God made us. Breathe and enjoy. We're not so worried about this extended leg. If you need to bend the knee and bring it in, that's fine. Let's inhale, come up. Lean off to the side, rotate the leg in front. Give them a little popcorn. Point and flex. rotate the ankles. You may have felt a lot of tension in the ankles with bringing that foot behind you. Feel free to massage the quads. Perhaps you haven't gotten into the quads in quite some time. Let's bend our knees, plant our feet. We're going to come more into a hips distance stance. So we don't want our feet broad here. We don't want them touching. They touch, and if you're not ready, your knees are going to flail open. So we're going to split the difference and come in between. Lift the heart, arms come out, palms face up or together. You're going to lean back. Just feel where your core engages. Perhaps this is it for you, and you come up, and then we try it again. Lean back. Let's kick up one leg. Lower down. Let's kick up another leg. Lower down. Inhale up. If that was difficult for you, perhaps you grab the back of your legs as you lean back and slowly allow the feet to float. Perhaps you can bring them up. Perhaps you can bring the arms up. Hold for what feels comfortable for you. Maybe 2, 3 breaths. And release. Let's take a nice counter pose. Rolling forward and reaching forward. Legs, they can be straight or bent. It's just a nice release off the back. Let's work a little bit more on the hamstrings. With the left leg extended, we're going to pick up this right foot. We're going to hold it in. Options here. You can reach for the outside of your left foot, reach for the inside of your left foot, all while holding the right leg in, or step that right leg out and reach. Very, very modified version of ashtanga. If you need to, if you're like me where you're sitting off kilter, bringing this leg in, roll up your mat, roll up a blanket, prop yourself up on a block, a pillow. Welcome props to see where you stand. Perhaps just holding this knee in and sitting up is the way that you feel comfortable today. Let's inhale up, switch legs, right leg out, left leg in, hold it in. Squeeze that left leg in. Maybe you bring that ankle out a little bit more. Remember, this right hand can go the outside, the inside, or both hands can reach. Still stretching, still breathing. Let's release, inhale up. Bring your leg straight out in front. Cross the right leg over. For you, the sole of the foot may come down. Perhaps it doesn't and you just cross over. I'm just going to allow my leg to cross over. Reaching left arm, coming forward. Should be very familiar, we did this balancing. If you remember, we allowed this ankle to go over our left leg, or we allowed this foot to come up into our hip crease. Right hand can come behind. Maybe you can reach for the bind and have right hand reaching for the right foot. Release the legs and switch over. This side may be different. You may have more room, you may have less room. Come to what's comfortable for you. legs, give them another little popcorn, rotating the ankles. Let's cross our legs and meet back into a tabletop. Going a little further away from the traditional form, but still doing yoga nonetheless. Coming into our tabletop, wiggling out our hips, and then coming down onto our bellies. We're going to prop ourselves up into Sphinx pose. Forearms down, shoulders stacked over elbows. Legs can be comfortably wide or close together, whatever works for you. And let's hold. Slight back bend here as we strengthen our back. Breathing into any discomfort, any release, or any comfort that you may feel. So in today's class, we skipped all of the planks and all of the push-ups. We're still going to work on strengthening those body parts, so we still get a well-rounded workout. Let's bring our hands underneath our shoulders, lowering down. Elbows are going to stay back. Legs are going to stay tight. You're going to ground down into those fingertips. Grip the mat with your fingers. Inhale, push up. Only to your belly button. Activate those glutes, release the shoulders, and lower down. Inhale, push up. Elbows come back. We don't want the elbows flailing. We don't do that in the chaturanga. We don't do that in the cobra. Lower down. Let's do one more. Inhale, push up. If you have full cobra in your practice, go ahead and straighten out those arms. Really lift up. Release that head back. Maybe close your eyes here. Take a breath or two. See how it feels in your body. And go ahead and lower down. Coming back into those quads, we're going to prop ourselves up onto our forearms, and we're going to reach our left hand back for our left foot. We're taking it one at a time. If your leg is out here, that's an okay place to start, but consider bringing your knee in closer to protect your lower back. Bringing that heel in takes you into a different posture, a version of frog pose. Kicking into that hand, opening up the heart, brings you into a version of bow pose. Decide which one works for you, kicking into the hand or bringing the heel in. Both are perfectly acceptable. Let's release. Switch sides. Check in with the right knee. How does it feel? Can you bring it in a line with the hip? Let's try that frog version, bringing the heel into the glute. Let's try the bow, kicking into the hand. Back up into child's pose. So let's go ahead and broaden our knees here. Inhale up. Sink the hips down and back. No need to come all the way into child's pose. We're just releasing that lower back. Our lower back was rounded and compressed in an arc. So we're going to try and give it a nice counter pose in hopes that we're not pinching any discs. Come back into neutral, coming into a nice tabletop. still slowing down. We've worked on our shoulders, our back quite a bit. So we're going to take some thread the needle here. Not so traditional for this class, but it still feels good. Let's take this left arm up, and we're going to thread it in between the right hand and the right knee as we lower down. And release. Inhale up. Shake out that left hand. And lower down. Let's do the other side. Right arm out. Shake it out. Thread it in between the left side body. And lower down. Shake it out. Go ahead and lower down. Come into a nice seated posture. Sit tall. Release the shoulders. Close your eyes. Reconnect with your breath. Think back to that initial thought, that initial prayer you set forth at the beginning. Just bow your head. Allow the neck to release. Inhale out. Let's take some neck circles, rotating down. If you have no contraindications for taking a whole circle in your neck, that may feel really good for you. But if you have any neck issues where rotating your neck backwards is not comfortable, like I do, by all means, just rotate on the front half circle. Take a few deep breaths here. Start bringing awareness back to your body. Wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, rotating the shoulders, shrugging them, sitting tall. Thank you for coming today. I hope you enjoyed the practice, and we hope to see you again soon. Have a good day.